I'm not asking for us to win, 3-4 games in a row like this squad is actually capable of. I'm asking for the bare essentials, right? Oh, I'll say it again in a second.
It's a great way to shoot a podcast, this, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever. Let's just talk, right? My point is, you give me...
Spitfire.
Oh my God. Your production is boss. You give me shoes that are too small for me. We're out in the rain. You want this guy to track us and he's hardly doing it. At least the dog's following.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyway. Reds. Okay, welcome to Forest All Over, a bonus episode. Chris has flown over from Ireland for the Midtjylland home game, opening European night. I think you'll all agree it was a great evening. Well worth everyone's time. Chris comes out for it. So, Chris, tell me, you flew over from Ireland.
Yeah.
Last time we did an episode, Forest were in the Europa Conference. We'd lost to Chelsea. I was really angry. You were really happy. And then everything between Chelsea and now has happened, which has been well documented. We won't go over it all, but it is a huge amount of stuff, let alone change of management and us being in Europa. But come on, you are...
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, I know you don't want to do this, but I think I'll do a really quick 5-second recap. The stuff that we missed since we last did the podcast. We're talking about the Morgan Gibbs-White, Elanga, Marinakis on the pitch with Gibbs-White. All that stuff happened. The manager coming and going. Like, people might not actually know how much happened between now and then if you don't actually reel it off a little bit. Or is that a waste of my time?
I just think everyone already knows what's happened.
No, but they know what's happened, but they don't know what's happened. Like, we literally saw Spurs win a cup final. That manager is now our manager, and he might not be our manager after next weekend. You know what I mean? There's just so much that they wouldn't... Anyway, whatever. Now we're in the Europa League, but losing.
We're losing in the Europa League, and much to everyone's disappointment. Chris, are you disappointed, first of all?
Yes. Very, very angry, very disappointed. It's meant to be a really fun, cool season. And
you got very angry with me when I tried to support Ange over the recent games.
Yeah.
I've been very pro him. Now, I will concede that last night against Midtjylland, I'm going, oh my God, I'm going to have to concede to Chris in a minute.
In a minute?
Yeah,
after Sunderland was enough.
I thought it was
players look lost.
I thought it was disgraceful the way the fans chanted sacked in the morning. We've come to a place in football.
Well, I didn't, but they're fans. They're entitled to do what they want to do. Oh, well, I didn't do it, but
exactly, they are entitled. I think
No, hang on. I
do think we're entitled to expect more.
No. What I think...
There's something toxic about the decision to what...
What do you mean?
We're missing a beat.
No, the beat that you're missing, and this is the key beat that you're missing here is, look, a lot of fans, and I go over to 4 or 5 games a year, right? A lot of fans are season ticket holders. It's their life, it's their identity. They go home and away. There was a lovely lad who drove me and James from the airport yesterday, and he goes home and away to every single game. He'd flown in from Ireland. He's from Nottingham. His name is Jack Allen. Lovely bloke. Anyway, my point is, people like him spend a shitload of money, a lot of money. They spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
No.
That controls results.
No, it doesn't control results. No. What I'm trying to say is, I wouldn't chant that. That's not for me. But if someone wants to, totally fine. And by the way, Matt, the problem here is
it's not helping anyone, though, is it?
No.
He's 6 games in.
I
get it. I'm not trying to pretend that this guy's good for us anymore or that.
Well, the players look lost. The players look lost. The players don't know what they're doing on the pitch. That's the problem.
Is that the case?
Oh my! If you can't,
apart from 2 really sloppy defensive errors at corners,
defensive
errors,
errors,
really look lost.
Before Sunderland last weekend,
I'm trying to ask you a question,
and I'll answer it. Before Sunderland last weekend, I said to you, our set piece defending looks horrendously dodgy. We then concede from a set piece against Sunderland. We then concede from 2 set pieces against Midtjylland last night and on a break. Right? Everyone knows that's a weakness of Ange's game. Everyone spoke about it. He spoke about it last year. So that's a problem. As far as going forward, we don't look like we have an identity. Apart from that first half at Swansea.
We don't even look like we've got an identity going forward either, do we?
No. So the Ange identity of forward fun football isn't even happening. Against Betis, yes. First half it did. Against Swansea, yes. First half it did. But last night, our goal was from a long ball over the top that Gibbs-White laid into Andoy, and it was from a penalty. So we're not even getting the good stuff.
Yeah, we're
getting all the bad stuff in defence and none of the good stuff.
And to be fair to you, you said on a bigger platform than that, I mentioned Forest Focus as a joke there because it's funny and it's really cool to see you being yourself more on that show.
I'm already animated, but yeah, go on.
You did make this point a couple of weeks ago and you came under quite a lot of attack for it. And I have to say, you are being proven right at the minute.
I don't care
I just have this...
Yeah, I care about you conceding that. Because it's the first time you'll ever say something like that. I don't care about it. It's not being proven right.
You're still on your high horse too much, mate.
Oh, shut up.
I find myself in a bit of a tricky situation. Here comes the dog.
Yeah.
I find myself in a bit of a tricky situation because what is there to say now? Someone asked in the pub last night, what's the answer? And you tell him to implement.
I asked that question.
It
I said, what's the answer? And no one has the answer.
The answer is the players need to buckle down and
but
decide whether they're going to back the manager or not.
No, but they are good players. But there's no patterns of play that I'm seeing forming going forward. They don't know. They look a bit lost.
You think Ange is that amateur?
No,
you think he's that amateur?
No. I think he's not getting his ideas across, and I think that's the end of the road. And if you don't get your ideas across, we still manage to get results.
But the ideas are across because they're creating half chances.
But Matt,
they're just not. The players aren't.
But
clinical.
Matt, last night and Saturday, Sunderland and last night, I didn't see an identity. I didn't see any patterns of play, any repetitions in football. With Ange, I saw some of that stuff against Betis the first half, but now it's lost. Like, I didn't see them go, oh, that's a nice little move that he'd obviously worked in training. I don't know what they're doing in training. If they're not practicing defending set pieces, I don't know what they're doing. And that's with Ange specifically, that's my biggest problem. With last night specifically, that's my biggest problem. And by the way, this is important. I know I keep talking. I'm not asking, I said this to you last night, I'm not asking him to win like 2 or 3 games in a row. I'm not asking him to win 3 or 4 out of 6. And this squad is actually capable of doing that. I'm not asking him to do that. I'm not asking him to even do what the squad is capable of doing. I'm asking him to win 1 or 2 of the last 6 and 4 of them incredibly, I know Elliot, I hate this word, but incredibly winnable. We should be winning some of those games. We haven't. For me, that's unacceptable. And we look very fragile at the back and nothing has changed about the defensive stuff and we have hard fixtures coming up. That's the biggest problem, Matt. I'm not asking for us to win 3 or 4 games in a row like this squad is actually capable of, because it's a very good squad. I'm only asking us to win 1 or 2 of the last 6, and 4 of them have been we should have been winning 4 of those at least. They're very winnable games. I know people hate that phrase, but 4 of those games we should be winning. So I'm asking for 1 or 2 out of those. And that's my biggest problem, is we're very capable of winning those games and he's not even doing that. And that's the biggest thing. And I know it's early, but managers come in, they have an instant impact early doors. And they do. David Moyes did last year with Everton. We see it all the time. Nathan Jones went in Southampton. They're a relegation scrapping team, and he didn't have an instant impact with them, and they got rid of him, and they were a relegation scrapping team. We shouldn't be. We should be a European team, and he's doing as bad as Nathan Jones was doing at Southampton. So this is just not good enough. So we play Newcastle Sunday. Do you think we win that game? Be real.
I honestly think we might.
Oh, do you? Well, you thought we'd win every game that he's been in charge of so far.
Look, shit happens, as they say, and it's.
Shit happens. Nothing happens on the pitch. That's the problem.
I think it really is do or die for him against Newcastle.
It was do or die from last night, mate. You have to win last night.
Well, why is he not sacked then? You told me after the game. He's gone. He's gone. He's not gone.
Because if it's not today, if it's not tomorrow, if it's not next week, it'll be 2 weeks. It'll happen though. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
So you can sit there and go, why is he not gone today? He might be, but we might go home and it might be there. It'll be there eventually. It's inevitable. And that's the problem. And look, don't get me wrong. I do kind of feel sorry for him. He's been thrown into an absolute whirlwind of a mess.
And from the very beginning with everyone against him.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Just on that point.
Let's move on.
Does the fact that from the word go, massive proportions of our fan base, massive proportions of the mainstream media, almost all of it, massive proportions of our own club's social media following, have been publicly railing against him? I think that feeds its way in. That doesn't help, and that kind of brings me back around to the point about the fans.
Matt, but he's getting paid millions and he's failing. It doesn't. I'm sorry, but yeah, you might be right. That does happen. He's used to that. He had all that last year.
Where's it gone?
No,
I'm not in disagreement. I just have to make this point. When you can't suddenly now say that things have to happen overnight because of the payment that someone's getting.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Ooh.
That's
not good for our sound.
Okay.
Great. For anyone watching this, we've just cut into the living room. The rain came down and the ambitious drone shoot for this episode got drawn to a close. I'm very sorry. We were just in the middle of discussing...
Yeah, we're in perilous waters. We're on a pirate ship sinking with people shooting cannons at us.
It's really quite bad. The problem is we now agree as well. I haven't really.
That's not a problem. We disagree on so much.
It's funny because I've just slagged off the whole fan base for chanting manager out, but I'm going to stand by that. I found it so distasteful. I mean, I joined in. Yeah. I joined in with it. Even.
Did you?
Yeah.
So hold on. I didn't.
But I was like, what am I doing?
That's hilarious.
This is so insane.
Hang on, that is amazing. So I I didn't join in with it, even though I think he should probably go. But I didn't join in with it just because it's just not my bag. But I didn't join in with it. But I think it's okay for the fans to do it. I think it's fine for them to chant whatever they want.
Okay.
But you don't think it's fine, and you joined in. You hypocrite.
I have to just point out
You're a
that
snake.
there's caveat here. Of course, it's fine for fans to chant what they like. I'm not saying
Within
they
reason,
should,
but yeah.
Outside of like unreasonable abuse of different kinds, and they can. But that falls into a really counterproductive territory for me. 6 games, and we all know where we're at, and it just felt like.
Well, they're just angry, and sorry, I should say you're just angry because you joined in.
If Nuno had continued after he left and we'd gotten as many, the results were the same, would people have been singing, you're getting sacked in the morning? Would people be singing, you get sacked in the morning?
No, because he had credit in the bank with us from last year, but they
right,
would be.
That's another one of those football faux pas. It's like credit in the bank, still got a job to do,
it's just real.
It's not going to help.
No, but it's just real. It's like Cooper lost.
Didn't have that much credit in the bank.
Please listen.
For me.
Please listen. Cooper lost 5-0 to Fulham. You were at the game, right?
Yeah.
He went over to apologise to the fans. No one was singing "Get the Sack" with him. Nuno lost 3-0 at home to West Ham. If it had continued, the fans would have had a murmuring feeling going, he's eventually going to have to go, if that had happened, if he got these results. But the whole "you're sacked in the morning" comes from what you were talking about earlier. The moment Ange came in, he was on the back foot, but that's management. You have to deal with that. He was on the back foot at Spurs, and he managed to turn around with the Europa League.
He's more on the back foot at Forest than he is.
Yeah, he is.
He's more on the back foot.
But he should be, because, he should be. Do you know why?
Why?
Because his record in the league was not good enough last year to warrant him getting this job this year. Now he's got this job. I'm sorry, I didn't try loads of stuff within the first 3 or 4 games. I was like, no, we'll back him for a few games, and then we'll see how it goes.
You never said you'd back him to me.
No.
From the minute he came in, before he'd kicked a ball, you were not happy.
See, this is if you want. Sorry, if you want. Matt.
If you can't backtrack and change how you were feeling.
No, but Matt, if you want to have a podcast with me, and you want to be the interviewer, ask me questions. Don't ask me questions, then give the answers that you think I gave before from a heated conversation in a WhatsApp group.
Yeah, no, I'm not giving answers. I'm correcting, just making sure that you stay on point.
I always thought he was going to do badly. That's true. I always thought he was going to do badly from the beginning, and said I think he'll be gone by Christmas. That's what I said. From before, between me and you privately, I said, I think he'll be gone before Christmas, before the Arsenal game. I did that. But I didn't say, ooh, he's doing badly. I hope he does badly, so I told you so. It's not, I want him to do well, and I want you to, and everything to prove me and the other half of the fan base that thought he'd do badly as well wrong. That's the difference. There's 2 different things here. There's wanting someone to do well because he's the manager of the club, and if his football works like it did against Betis, amazing.
Sure.
And there's also knowing that it could be a car crash. And that's what I said before. I said, I backed him, as in I think I want him to do well, but I didn't think he'd do well. That's the difference. That's the difference between the word backing that you were brought up from a flipping WhatsApp group that me, you, and Will are in. Like, there's a million things you said in that group that I could put out now, and it would sound ridiculous. Like, I think he'll do brilliant.
I'd end up in jail if you did that.
I hope not. But anyway, I don't know if it's that bad. But anyway, dabbing himself in for stuff he never did. Anyway, but what I do think is, just to bring it down a bit.
Yeah.
I do think, look, whatever. I don't think it's actually important whether half the fan base was right or half the fan base was wrong. I think what's important now is we're in a bit of a mess.
Am I allowed to come back on any of this though, without you saying I'm interrupting or putting words in your mouth? You're saying a lot of things about the same thing, and there's something to be said for this.
Yeah, go on.
That's back. It has been from the off. From the whole media narrative, a lot of the fan base, from all the social media channels along with it. It's been extra pressure that that people have to take accountability for, and you can't blame that on Ange or Marinakis.
No,
you can't.
Well, no.
We're in a mess. And you know, until last night, I spoke to. I'm allowed to say other people. I'm allowed to say other people's names on the podcast.
If they'd be okay with it, I'm sure. Yeah.
But I don't.
If it's their view.
The guys we were sat around the table last night, one of them made a really good point. And he said to me, because I was backing.
If you think
I was
backing
Ange, and I was backing.
Who is it? Who said
Doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter. The point is more important.
Right.
And I was saying, but why is everyone seemingly like singing for Nuno and all this? Nuno threw us under the bus, I thought. Nuno was really bad. But they did make a good point. It's the first time we've been won around from hating on Nuno on all this.
It was Danscape, by the way, I bet you.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was saying, but he just gave me a new perspective on maybe why he had to throw us under the bus. He wasn't denying that we had, but he was just talking about, because I didn't understand this idea that he hadn't been backed when he cleared. Marinakis he's thrown millions and millions of pounds at this. He's a brilliant owner from that front compared to loads of. I'd rather have Marinakis than anyone else, but he spelt it out in a different way and he put a bit of reality into it. But
what did he say? What was the reality? You haven't given
well,
me
no,
what he
because
said.
it includes a conversation. It does include
Private conversations kind of thing.
He was just showing another light on what it might be like from Nuno's point of view over the past few months, knowing that things were going on.
Okay.
And it was just something I haven't heard spelled out like that before.
Right.
And my point is, it was the first time I guess where I go to next then is you have to go against the owner. You can't now go, well, he's done this for us, you've done this. You have to go, well, what we're going to do? Constantly be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That is not stability from even a fan base point of view.
Can I say two things?
You basically need a new owner if you want to go at this clean. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah. He's not going to change. He's not suddenly go and become
Sorry.
the guy that runs Brighton.
Can I unpack this a bit?
Yeah, if you want.
Sorry, I don't think it's that drastic, right? What my thing would be, on your first point where you made a point of, you said to me something before you went into that side note about someone from last night giving you a good point of view. You mentioned something about that pressure that started off at the beginning from the media, from some of the fans.
On Ange?
Yeah. You spoke about that, which is true, right? The one thing I will say is, from the off, and this is the first thing I'll say, bringing Ange in, me, you, the owner.
You and the owner.
No, me.
That's the title of this episode.
Oh, shut up for a second.
Me, Matt, and the owner.
Me, you, the owner, the dog, James, who sat there watching us talk right now. A studio audience. James, my cousin. Everybody knew that pressure was going to be there because last year he had enormous pressure. So we knew that was going to happen. So you have to foresee, of course, there's going to be pressure from the off, and he doesn't get off to a good start, it'll be trouble. So that is why the hiring of him, it was really risky because everyone would know that that's the case, right? That's the first thing I'll say. So I don't think it's an even important conversation to have because we knew him coming in would divide some of the fan base in terms of where we think we can go with this, right? The second thing I'll say is all this looking back on everything that's happened since me and you've lost to the podcast, from the Morgan Gibbs White saga to the Nuno, Elanga going, Nuno, the owner spending money, us building a really good squad, then all of a sudden we look terrible. Like all that stuff is, in my opinion, it's just not important right now. Everyone knows all this and everyone has an opinion on...
No, but people need a chance to reflect because there are people like me who have gone, back the owner. What's Nuno doing? Back, don't look back. I don't want to keep harking back to it. But the point is it's relevant now as to what where we're headed as a club. It's spiraling because of events that took place.
But
I get you. We don't need to keep analysing
but what I'm sick of is like, and you're
as a fan, we're realising.
No,
where
I know, but
from.
Matt, the thing is, you're probably not as active on social media. I don't think so.
I've got a life.
Yeah. Okay, very funny.
Building Fantasy 5 games.
Stupid fantasy football games that I made the rules of that you keep building formulas for in an Excel spreadsheet. Anyway, can we just finish this point, right? My thing is, everyone has spoke about it. Like everyone, all we ever talk about online or even to each other is, do you think it was Nuno who did this? Do you think it was the owner who did that? Do you think it's Ange who did this? That's all we talk about. Today we're talking about Ange specifically because the game happened last night and his tactics and the football and everything just was out the window and the players look lost out there. And that's on the coach for last night, right? But because they're good players, there's a good squad of players there. That's the coach.
And we're talking about because some of us want to back Ange. I know we can't now. It feels hard.
No, but my point is, like, it's boring for me and everyone, I think, to talk about who we thought was right and wrong over the last few months, be it owner, Nuno, Edu. I think we need to talk about what's happening next.
Well, of course.
So let's talk about that. Don't tell me your point of view.
Well, it's one of two things. He beats Newcastle or he goes. And if he beats him, he still might...
So
we're still going to have a toxic... It's going to ruminate for a while, this, until he gets sort of 3 to 4...
Well, we're not beating Newcastle, right? I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry.
I have to say, I think he's gone then. We're just in mute territory.
Matt, do you know what the funny thing is?
I think we beat Newcastle.
We can get to that. After Sunderland, when we lost to them at home, I knew, right, in my heart, I was like, he's probably gone now. Because you look at the fixtures, unfortunately, and it's Newcastle, Chelsea, Bournemouth, Man United will have a new coach by then, right? So there's 4 really tough fixtures coming up. Man United, less so, but they'll have a new coach. They'll probably be really good. They have the firepower, right? So we've 4 fixtures coming up, and we had Midtjylland, which would have been, in my eyes, I was like, we should probably win that. And then we'll go into those run of fixtures, and then he'll get sacked after those run. Now we've lost to Midtjylland. It's even more, it's like throwing petrol on the fire. Like, it's even worse than I could have possibly imagined. And do you know what the worst thing is? All this from the beginning. When I said to you at the beginning, I don't think this will work out, and I'm now openly saying, I never usually publicly say that, but I'm openly saying, I said that from the beginning. I wanted him to do well, but I thought he wouldn't. From the beginning, I just thought it wouldn't work out. I'm allowed to think what I think. But it's actually worse than what I thought.
Yeah.
It's actually.
I
thought we'd beat Swansea on the Wednesday. Maybe Nick could win away.
It's so unfortunate against Swansea. Come on, it was so unfortunate. It was so like, oh god.
Yeah, but no one cares about Swansea. We've been.
No, I know, but I'm talking about this whole thing about is that like I'm not challenging it. I just can't believe that all of this is our manager's fault. And I know it has the butt.
It's not all his fault, but there's stuff that his job is to make things work again. So his job, if there's stuff going on in the background,
for example,
his job is to fix it. And he's not fixing it.
There were two things that were being said last night in the stands around me, against Midtjylland.
Right.
And
where were you sat?
Right on the front, right next to where Mikel Antonio was being interviewed for TNT. Like stone's throw.
Peter Taylor, was it?
Peter Taylor left towards the Trent end, front row. Bad view because you have to like pull up to see the pitch.
You chose it. Next.
Yeah, I chose it. I wanted to see it.
Stupid.
Wait, there were two things that people are saying about wingers, Ange not making substitutions and not playing McAtee and Bakwa. Last couple of games that they've played, they've been slated and everyone's been slagging him. People going on about Wood should have played, but last game time out, everyone's going, why isn't Jesus playing? I just get very confused with whatever isn't happening more than I've ever noticed before under Ange. It's like the fans have suddenly gone into a frenzy of.
Do you know why?
Of panic.
Yeah, do you know why?
But therefore, so much of the stuff that's being said is unfair, and that's, I guess, what I'm trying to get at.
But Matt,
I'm not saying that this guy deserves to be the manager.
Fans do that all the time because no one has the answers, and we're trying to find them and scramble around for reasons
but
why
they
things
used to
aren't
be
working.
just that little bit.
No,
more.
but my point is, everyone. Why didn't use subsystem? Why didn't Ange use subsystem? Everyone does that. My point is, no one has the answers, but you know who is supposed to have the answers? The manager. So if the fans are asking questions and then things are changing left, right, and centre on the pitch and they're not working, the manager's meant to have the answers.
Do you think Gibbs White should have gone in and got a red for the team for that third goal? Kept us in it.
Got a red card? No, I don't.
You don't think he should have taken that guy out before that third goal?
I don't think that's an important question.
But it's a question that I've not heard spoken about, so I'm asking it to you.
Do I think he should have taken a red, kept us in the game? We wouldn't have been in the game, mate.
No, I'm asking. So no, then.
No, I think he should have done. I think
he should have. Taken him out.
The problem is,
and we might have equalised.
Shut up, Matt. The problem is earlier he.
And we'd have no Gibbs White.
You're just doing this to wind me up.
I'm not.
You are. You're picking a player you know I love, and you're using a specific example at the end of the game. Gibbs White.
It's honestly just a thought that's come to mind. It's like, I've not heard anyone talk about it.
No, I don't think he should have got a red. I think he could have clipped his heels earlier and got a yellow, but there's no point in doing that either because it wastes time. We're 2-1 down and we're trying to get the equaliser. They would have just killed the game off then. Either way, we weren't winning that game. When we went 1-1, that was the chance. At 2-1, that was it in my eyes because I was like, gosh, we're not going to win this game. We might get an equaliser, but this is a disaster. All our goals are coming from, like I've said a million times, not Ange-style football. They're coming from long balls or set pieces or counter.
What if that's Ange's new style?
Oh gosh, you're more delusional than I thought then.
Right, Chris, let me have a minute. We've kind of talked it to death.
Yeah, we have. It's boring. Like this is.
I don't think it's boring.
This is going to go out on a Saturday morning, and people have just got over the Thursday, and they're like, "Oh gosh."
We got some people. It doesn't matter. A couple of people said they thought it'd be good for us to do another episode. You're over in the country. We said we'd only do them when we were together. Yeah. We're together. We're doing one. It doesn't matter whether you think it's boring or not.
Right. What, do you have another question?
I want to talk to you about Forest Fantasy 5s because that has taken off a bit more.
Can we do that at the end?
End of what?
At the end of the because there's still more to unpack with Forest.
You just okay,
and how we're feeling. Sorry.
No, go on. Give me some things that want to be unpacked that aren't boring according to you.
I just don't want to talk about the
game that we're playing that we're growing from this podcast.
Not yet. We'll do it at the end. I want fans or listeners to listen to us talk about something that's a bit more relevant to them just for now. Is that okay?
They might want to play the game.
They might
want to start a league. They might want to get in touch.
Well, they can wait to the end of the episode to hear about it then.
All right. There you go. That's a tease.
That's not a tease.
If you ever heard one.
Right. Let's move back. So
it doesn't involve the drone, I promise.
Matt, ask another question. Come on, you're the one meant to be leading this. Come on.
Well, I was leading it, and then you said to not lead it that way. So
no, I didn't. I just said we've unpacked everything from before. If you want to talk about the now, like ask me who's the next manager, or what are we doing against Newcastle on Sunday? How do we fix these issues? How do you feel about things going forward? Ask me, did I enjoy the build up to the game?
Sorry,
it was a very special night.
Sorry, I'm not used to working at the level of podcasting that you are.
You're such an absolute idiot. Just stop.
What do we do against Newcastle?
No, forget. We'll go to
What do we do against Newcastle?
No, hang on. We'll go to Newcastle in a second. Let's talk about. No, yeah. Here,
Go on, don't take it. Take the reins.
I'll take the reins for a second. What I think is important, right? And I do think, I know you don't care about this, but what I think is important is last night was a really, really special occasion prior to the game. I think the positives we can
It was all fart, no poo, as they say.
Okay, Matt.
The fireworks were the best bit, and it was like, oh.
Anyway, well, there were fireworks last night, or a bit of a fire show. It was a bit of a mini one. But anyway, all I'll say is, I'm going to go through a list of things from last night, good and bad. The good, the bad, and the ugly, right? That's what we'll do. And then we can move on to Newcastle after, right?
Thank you so much.
Right. The good was Ndoye's goal. That moment was really special, wasn't it? Did you feel that? You did feel that first European goal at home in a long time. You didn't.
No, I didn't. I think.
Okay.
I think.
Well,
that
then
it was,
that's
I
the
think
good
we
gone
had,
out the window,
I
folks.
thought we had more edge and more liveliness as a fan base when we were in the Championship, and Jurgen Klopp came with Liverpool, and all the flags were out.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
Stop. Okay.
The fans went plateaued last night.
Can you listen to me? I'm trying to pick specific moments that were nice about last night. I spoke to James.
No, it was nice. It was
no,
nice. But
listen. You know what? I'll answer for you, okay? The good. Ndoye's goal, there was a bit of a roar. That was amazing, wasn't it?
bit
James?
of a roar.
Sorry, I want to talk to James. James is here. James, I want you to just
At least everyone can see what's going on here.
I know he can't hear, but James, the Ndoye goal was good, wasn't it?
mind.
He's nodding. It was great. That was a great moment. The show beforehand with the Europa League stuff and the music was really emotional and special. It was great. Mulligan Tire was a good one, wasn't it? He's nodding his head. That was really great. Meeting people beforehand in the nav. There was Irish contingent over. There was lots of various people we met. I'll shout them out at the end. But there was lots of cool people. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Going to the stadium, all the build-up, everything. The whole day was fantastic until kickoff. And then it went downhill. Now we'll do the bad. The set-piece defending is an absolute disgrace. It was a disgrace against Sunderland.
When people talk about asking questions that they can answer themselves. Go on.
Okay, go on, ask me a question. You're right.
Do you honestly think, and I'm not saying those moments weren't good. Of course I like it when Forest
Oh my
score.
God, you're trying to shit the good moments. Just talk about the bad moments.
No, I want to know why, if you actually think that the fan base hasn't lost something since the game I just pointed out. But maybe also Man United last year. And it might be with good reason. We were underdogs, we were struggling. But it's just...
Man United the year before, but yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's something about the energy last night, I thought. Even before we went 2 goals, they scored twice.
The energy, in my opinion, where I was sat, felt very positive.
Okay, maybe it's where I was sat.
Europe again, singing, and
it was dead where I was.
And I'll be honest, even after they scored the first goal, the fans still tried to pick it up a little bit where I was sat.
Was A block good?
James was an A block.
James was an A block.
Yeah, the fans still tried to pick it up after they scored the first.
Producer.
Okay. The fans tried to...
A block was brilliant last night.
Yeah. Okay. Will it continue?
Yeah. I was actually trying to look and listen though, and I was like, all I could see was security guards go to the director's box with everyone throwing abuse at Marinakis.
Oh, yeah, no. In my end, where I was, the fans were good until they scored a second. Yeah. And I think it's fair enough to be annoyed after that.
Go on, give us the bad and the ugly. I just wanted to raise the point that I think you're being too kind to...
I don't think I'm
it was
being
a shit
too
night. I'm just being the yin to your yang. I don't think it was the most atmospheric, awesome European night. I think there were better energised fans and European feeling evenings when Liverpool came to town when we were in the Championship.
You weren't
when we beat Arsenal with Lewis Grabban scoring the goal. Against Man United with the Morgan Gibbs goal. All of them were rife with edge. It was incredible.
You can't compare different feelings in different moments. And by the way, you weren't in Seville. I heard Seville was unbelievable. I heard it was one of the best times of people's lives. We were driven back from the airport to Nottingham by a guy, Jack Allen, I mentioned him earlier, legend. And he sits in A block. And he goes home and away, and he told me about Seville. Seville was one of the best times for most people. We weren't there. So you say we've lost that feeling. You aren't going away on these trips all the time. You're not going every home and away.
I'm talking about last night against Midtjylland.
Okay, yeah, but that's what I think Seville carried in, even though Sunderland happened. I think the Seville positivity carried into the beginning of last night, and I actually really did feel it. And I actually felt the fans, I'm the opposite of you. I think the fans did the best they could until they were let down.
Dog. Watch the dog.
Matt.
Yeah.
Sorry, Thistle.
Go on, let's have the quote.
Let's have the quote, James. Sorry, do you want to read it out or pass it to...
No.
James going to pass it.
Sadly.
Legend, James.
Thank you, James.
Thanks for sitting
So
here.
here comes the quote from series producer, Tottenham boss.
No, I'll read it. Your reading's terrible. No, it is. You know it. No, your reading's terrible.
I'm hosting. Tottenham boss Ange Postecoglou says he doesn't need a specialist set-piece coach. Postecoglou is happy with the staff he has. He said, I've never had a specific set-piece coach.
Your reading's terrible.
I've always had someone who's responsible for that. I always think that it's better
if that's somebody who's a part of the coaching staff, because then that's an extension of how we play our football. I don't want... Continuing, just 'cause my throat hurts. I don't... It's kind of like Sean Dyche.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, no, seriously. I'm sorry, it's just...
Did you like the attempt, though?
I love the attempt, yeah, I give you respect for it, but let me just have a look at this.
I do actually... I've been meaning to ask, why do you keep looking at the floor? But we'll come to that in a second.
It's just a habit, who cares?
It's not a habit, it's bad.
You keep rubbing your eyes, why do you keep doing that?
I'm not a pro.
It's a habit.
I'm not a pro, getting paid millions.
I know you're not a pro.
Well,
Right,
I'm not
let's move
pretending
on.
to be.
No, but
read the goddamn thing.
Yes, you are. You're doing silly voices, pass me the thing. Right.
Providing YouTube.
So this specific quote was from last year about set pieces specifically, was what we were talking about earlier. And this is what I can't remember what I said to you last night, but I assumed it was something like this. So I've never had a specific set piece coach. I've always had someone who's responsible for that. I always think it's better if that's somebody who's a part of the coaching staff, because then that's an extension of how we play our football. Okay, I don't separate set pieces from everything else we do. In terms of the team we want to be, it all hopefully links. Here we've split the roles, and then he goes into that. I'm sure every club does. Some have gone down a specialised route, which I understand. It's not how I work. I always try to create the collective environment for everything we do so that nothing is separated. I wouldn't feel comfortable bringing in specialists for one particular area just for the way I work more than anything else. So he's basically talking about he doesn't get a specialist set piece coach to run set pieces in training. He keeps it all inclusive. I'm sure they do run set pieces in training.
Like Steve Cooper.
No, Cooper did get Simon Ruskin.
Eventually.
Yeah, but he would have... Steve Cooper...
Eventually, it's quite a big thing.
Sorry, Steve Cooper would have drilled set pieces a lot more than Ange would have.
Sorry, yeah, but at the moment we're talking about whether... What he said is basically... It's like a director going, I'm going to take care of VFX. I don't want to bring in a separate... I don't want to bring a separate VFX team. I'm going to take care of it. And they might suffer for it in the final film. But you know what? The overall thing might be better. I'm not backing it. I'm just saying it's different to you saying, Ange says, I don't practice set pieces. It is different.
Yeah, I mean,
he considers it, and he's trying, and it's not working.
Look, it is.
You could bring in a set piece coach, and there are loads of examples with clubs where they do have set piece coaches, and they get laughed at and mocked because they're no better, they're rubbish. It's an extra thing, and the managers and the set piece coaches fall out.
Fair enough, right? Maybe I was being a bit
zealous.
Shut up. A bit
zealous. Is that the
Shut
word?
up. We're playing Newcastle, right? I'll just go into my thing and then I'll see what you think, right?
I've not thought much about it, so you tell us and then.
Well, to be fair, do you know what the crazy thing is? I might be wrong.
Alanga's getting his first goal.
Maybe our series producer can help me out with this. I think Newcastle are only 1 point out of us in the table. Am I right, James? I think that
they're off the back of a 4-0 win in the Champions League, though, aren't they?
No, for sure. But I think they've had a really bad start in the league for their standards and their money and the fact that they're in the Champions League and everything. I think that they've had a really bad start. So but in terms of them as a team, I watched the entire Arsenal game last week, Newcastle v Arsenal. Right? You listening?
Yeah.
You're just looking outside. I watched the entire Arsenal game last week, Newcastle game. And Newcastle looked really good. Like, bullied Arsenal a little bit. Arsenal had their chances, but like Newcastle just looked
it was a good game, wasn't it?
They were giants. I was like, fair play. And obviously Arsenal won it in the end. But Newcastle just looked like they were up for it against Arsenal. When we looked against Arsenal, they just ripped us apart. Newcastle were like, no. We're going to play our game. We have a giant up front, Voltamad. We have giants in the midfield who are going to, or like just tough people in the midfield who are going to go after you. Like Dan Burn at the back. Like, they look like they're just ready for war all the time. And I thought, oh my gosh, we're in trouble here, because it was just after we lost to Sunderland, right? But I thought at least we have Midtjylland to kind of stem the tide. And now that hasn't worked out. And now we're going back into this game. So I think they look really good. I saw the highlights against Union St. Gallen, so whatever the name is, the team they played against the Champions League, and Gordon and Alanga will, if we leave space and play a high line, they'll eat the space up behind us and they'll make us look stupid.
Who do we go for fullbacks again in that game?
I have no idea.
Who would you pick?
I have no idea. I don't know how Zinchenko is. Murillo's probably gone.
Zinchenko's not a great fullback though. Everyone's going on about him.
Defensively, he's poor.
Exactly. So defensively,
really
who do we put up against Gordon and Alanga? Do you reckon Enjoy
Williams
works?
and Abbott, or
I don't get why
Savona?
No, Abbott. I think Abbott. Why isn't Abbott getting the shout? He was brilliant in that Wembley game.
Yeah, I mean, but like
that's okay.
They're gonna rip us to shreds.
Williams and Abbott. I don't know. I don't see Williams against. Would he be against Alanga?
Yeah, I don't know.
Alanga might not get played. It's not that. Is it Murphy?
Barnes might get played. Who knows? What I'll say to you is Newcastle will. The only way to beat them, I think, on Sunday is we need to have one of our best ever games and we need to get a bit of luck. Like one of their men would have to get in a yellow card early on, or maybe one of their men gets sent off. And I always say it's absolutely ridiculous, but it's the only way I see us winning that game is us. And it sounds horrendous, but like when you watch a game and at the very beginning of the game they do this thing which is really annoying. They do win percentage, draw percentage, win percentage for Sunderland. Like it was last week, it was win percentage Forest, draw, win percentage Sunderland, and it has you at like 62% to start. And as the game goes on, you go 1-0 down. The percentages change. If we were to start from scratch now against Newcastle, I think if there was a percentage at the top left-hand corner of the screen, I think it would say 90% Newcastle to win. 12% or no 5% draw, 5% Forest. Like I think there's a really dark cloud, unfortunately, and I think it would be a miracle. I know it sounds absolutely, but it would be a miracle. And you know what the crazy thing is? West Ham fans would have gone into the game against us at the City Ground saying the exact same thing, because at the time they were really struggling, we were flying high, and they would have said it'll be a miracle if we can beat Forest at the City Ground, and they did us 3-0. So
there's something about Ange though. Is the one thing I've always felt from even watching him starting at Spurs is he's got flair and personality, but he's not a great underdog, is he? For some reason, I feel like Forest have always been good underdogs. We do well when we're railing against it. Cooper is a great underdog manager. Nuno, great underdog manager. I don't think Ange has got underdog.
I think he does. I disagree. I think he did it in the Europa last year. It was like there's no chance he can win a trophy with Spurs, and he did it. So even though it was against,
he wasn't the underdog though. He sort of threw himself.
He was the underdog. He was the underdog
against Man United.
No, but in the whole competition, Frankfurt they did well. Like I'm not saying like his league form last year was dreadful. Like dreadful. But
maybe you're not understanding what I'm trying to say.
Maybe I'm not.
Or maybe
you're not explaining it properly.
I just don't think he's got underdog vibes.
Okay, so if you want to run on vibes, we'll hire Jose Mourinho.
I'm sure we can run on his vibes.
Well, it's unfortunately
as fans, I mean.
Unfortunately, maybe you're right because no one has the answer to the
exactly. So we have to run on vibes. We need to be underdogs on Sunday. That's just while we're talking about Newcastle. I say we get Abbott in.
Cool.
I say why not?
I'm not saying why not. I'm just saying. Do you want to do a score prediction or will we bother
against Newcastle?
Yeah,
I think we win.
What do you think?
I don't think we scrape a 1-0 though at all. So if we're going to win, it's going to be like a.
So far, your predictions have been off target.
I think
it's like throwing a dart and hitting the wall rather than the dart.
Yeah. Not in Forest Fantasy 5s.
We're going to go to that, but just give me the prediction, the score prediction. Come on, stay on it.
My score prediction, if I'm being honest, I think we get spanked 4-1.
No, you just said we win.
No, but I'm being honest.
How have you gone?
Because I'm trying to say
but you just went from win to getting spanked.
I've got a bit of hope that Forest can go. It's going to be like 3-1 to us or 4-1 to them.
Yeah, but choose one. Do the hopeful one and let me
3-1 to us. I think 3-1 to Forest. I think Chris Wood is a massive day out. Elliot,
Yeah, but realistically, do you believe that?
No.
Okay. I'll do mine because you're all over the place.
Yeah.
I think that we lose 3-0.
Great.
2-0 actually.
We'll tell you what, next time we're watching a game together, which will be this
Sorry, that is horrendous, guys. I think every Forest fan understands that that's just the general feeling at the moment. We look really lost. And to win the game, like I said, if I was in positive mode, I'd say, wow, we have one of those days like we did under Nuno and we just managed to score a lot, would manage to round the keeper and score amazing goals and we win 3-1, but I just don't see it happening. Their defence, and they'll be they're fresh as well.
We've talked through Newcastle, mate.
Yeah,
You've given us your score prediction. You don't have to explain it or apologise for it. You said we're going to lose 3 or 2-0. I said we're going to win 3-1.
Okay.
And we'll probably come back for a podcast before Christmas. Before you go away, next time I'm either in Ireland going to the pub you go to.
Maybe we're not as you know we're not doing weekly podcasts anymore. We're just doing every now and again when we're together.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah.
We kind of thought we'd go on a little bit of a European tour, but wouldn't be worth it at the minute, would it?
Well, it is. It's always worth it. The fans in Seville last night had a great time. Anyway, what do you want? Should we go into the shout-outs or do you want to talk about your game?
We'll do shout-outs at the end. Shout-outs at the end. We started a game last year. Some of you that have been listening to us for a while.
Oh, God.
We played last year in an analogue way. Matt Davies, the host of Forest Focus, won. I have to apologise to him and the rest of the players last year. I ran aground for the last 2 games. I was doing it all by hand and it inspired me to push the game to build it into a functioning game using formulas on Google Sheets. That's all very boring. The point is we have a league going again this year. It's fantasy football, but just for Forest, and it's a scaled down version, and therefore that's the 5-a-side vibe for it. And yeah, we've got some great players this year. Some of the last year's players are playing. We've got other podcast players from FFTV, from
Forest
Red Side of the
Focus,
Tread,
from
Forest
Talking
Focus.
Reds. Yeah.
These guys, our series producer James, is the running winner, leading the boards at the minute. It's a great game, and finally I've got Chris on board with it.
No, sorry.
And,
in this very room, a year ago, at the very first day of last season when we drew at Bournemouth, Matt and I went to the game. In this very room, I watched that clock turn to 2 a.m. and I created the rules for that game just before match day so that we could do a whole season of it. So don't tell me I'm finally on board with it. I got on board with it then, but I do think it's, you just talk about it so much and you've invested.
I don't talk about it that much.
Too much.
I don't talk.
It's enough.
I'm trying to get a game going.
Okay, well, if you're interested in Forest Fantasy
podcast, can have something to do.
But who's going to do the outreach? They're going to reach out to me and go, "Hey, I want to play the game. How do I do it?" And I'm going to go, "Oh God." And
so you can email fivesfantasy@gmail.com, or you can go on fivesfantasy.com to see the leaderboards. It's a primitive website, but fivesfantasy@gmail.com. You can contact me directly.
See that? See, I did good marketing there. I made him say the thing that we needed to say to give you the information.
Fives Fantasy, the word fives.
You see that? James, didn't I? I got that out of him. So, Vicky and her partner, I met them in the airport. Irish, brilliant on the way over. Eddie as well. Jack Allen, again, legend, picked me and James up from the airport. Sorry, drove us from the airport. He was sat next to me on the plane. We were chatting the whole way over. He's an absolute legend. Chris at the nav came over, sat next to us in his chair. Me and James were there. Really nice guy, absolutely sweetheart. We sat with him for a couple of hours. His name's Chris, same name as me. Just a gent, an absolute gentleman. And Johnny Wills and
of course, Raf and Danscape, but you were out with them.
Got to finish this?
Yeah. Go on.
Johnny Wills, Miles and Karen. So these guys came up to me and they were asking about Forest all over. I said we might do one tomorrow, which is today. So we are doing it. But look, real sweethearts. Like they came up and said they listened to Forest all over and they really enjoyed it. And they said they used to listen to it and go to away days and stuff. And I just thought it was really, really nice. Really nice. That's what, that was cool. And so big shout out to them. And the shame they didn't get to see you. You weren't there. You were late as always. And yeah, Danscape Raf we spoke about. Greg and Laura, obviously Laura we went over and chatted to. She misses the podcast, so she gets to have her fix this weekend. Thank you, Laura, for all your support. Cousin James, who sat here with me in Statsman Will, it was nice, wasn't it?
Statsman Will turned up.
Yeah,
it's been a while since three of us.
The four of us haven't been together since Wembley, and that was really nice. Like the four of us were at Wembley together, and then we haven't been to a game together, so this was a moment where we could all do it. So that was special. We got a nice picture and stuff. And then Ko from NFFC Japan.
Ko as well.
Oh, what an absolute legend. Ko came in and he was on our NFFC Japan episode with Taki. Like, it was great to see him, and I didn't get much chance to have a drink or a chat with him because we were bouncing around. But we did have a chat before and after, and it was great. I'll drop him a message. But he came to the game.
Tell you what, if you're feeling grim about Forest, go check in with the Luton Town podcast. They're having a great time.
That's what Matt does all the time.
The Luton Town, what are they called, Community Trust podcast.
I don't know. You still listen to it. You still hate listening to it.
It's a little sweet there watching them spin out about losing to Lincoln.
Right, let's move on. Pete Blackburn, a legend. I saw him and never got a chance to say hi to him. He was over in People. I should have gone over to him, but I was chatting to Dave Sanders at halftime. Massive shout out to Dave Sanders, always a big supporter podcast. I have halftime points.
Continual player of Fives Fantasy. He does very well. Won a couple of weeks ago.
Connecting it to that. But yeah, Dave Sanders, legend.
Well, I want the people that do play it to feel like they're getting. I think we need to have like a rules-based episode where we get a couple of the players on as guests. But it's good. I was winning, embarrassingly.
By the way,
until James took the lead this week because he had Chris Wood as a sub.
Let's just don't waste time.
Okay, sorry.
Please stop. By the way, Danscape and Raf, I ended up going out for drinks with them to drown our sorrows. We had a good laugh last night. Went to 2 different bars. I was out till like 3 in the morning. It was great fun. So shout out to Danscape and Raf and Matt Davies for putting up with me on the Forest Focus. Thanks for keeping putting me on. Last week I went a bit haywire, but Matt loved it.
That podcast does need promoting.
Shut
Get
up.
Forest Focus.
Okay, yeah. Make it. I'm just saying. I'm
going to promote Gore as well. Grumpy Old Reds, who always do us a favour. Always shouting us out.
But I wasn't.
Grumpy Old Reds.
This has descended into like the last episode where we're shouting at everyone. I'm shouting at people who I was talking to yesterday. The sweetener of the whole last night, the sweetener and the cherry on top of what a dreadful night was. Matt turns to me and he goes, "What's the time?" And I go, "It's 11:15." He goes, my car's stuck in the car park.
Again.
It's locked. So Matt got his car locked in the car park again.
And yeah, thanks for those that have listened and watched this. And I hope you enjoyed the drone shots at the beginning.
Oh yeah, and follow us at. Shout out to Elliot. Sorry,
Oh,
Elliot,
yeah,
Elliot,
Premier
Elliot,
Elliot.
Premier Elliot, and Will was sat next to him and Ralph at the game. So big shout out to him. I nearly forgot, but I had it there on my phone. Anyway, big shout out to Premier Elliot. Right, follow us at forestallover on Instagram if you want to hear an episode once every few months, maybe, or maybe not even a year. Follow us at NFFC all over on X. If you maybe we do one again, may not ever do one again. Who knows? This is a bonus. Since
Keep hitting
May.
your hand on the thing. That sounds really nice.